Sometimes life is going to hit you hard on the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. That's what Steve Jobs said when he was reflecting on one of the most painful experiences in his life. He literally got fired from Apple, the very company that he had built from the ground up. So in this episode, we will break down the story of love and loss from his 2005 Stanford commencement speech. If you have ever faced failure, rejection, or loss, the story will remind you of why it's important to keep going. And also, don't forget to check out future episodes and the previous episode where we will explore more lessons from this powerful speech. But for now, let's focus on love and loss. So, Steve in this talk tells the story of how him and Wozniak, his co-founder, started and built Apple from his parents' garage. And while they were building the company, it got so big when they reached around 2 billion that they brought in someone from the outside to come and help them to run the company more efficiently, since you will always look for someone that is more experienced just because you want to focus on something else or you are not so qualified. So anyway, they brought in this other person and he was supposed to help them build the company, but at the age of 30, Steve Jobs was fired from Apple. Why? He had a falling out with the person they had brought on, and the board sided with the other person. So at 30, he tells the story that he was kicked out from Apple, and things took a turn. It was very public. He had a falling out with the company that he had started, his own company. Just imagine that. The company he poured his heart into, the company he had helped build from nothing, was now gone. He felt like a failure. He felt like he had let everyone down. He even considered leaving Silicon Valley altogether just because he wanted to leave it all behind. But after some consideration, he decided to start over. And while he was telling the story, he says in hindsight, he realized that getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to him. Why? Because the pressure of success was gone. That weight was lifted off. And for the first time in years, he could start afresh. He had a fresh slate, a blank slate. So he founded 2 new companies. The first one was Next and then Pixar. Apple eventually bought Next back, and the technology that he developed at Next became the foundation of what Apple devices use even today. So just look at how everything has again turned around, because he goes from this period where he is fired from the company that he helped found. He says, okay, you know what? Things have gone badly. What should I do? He decides on whether to give up or to keep going. And he decides to just start afresh and keep going. And in doing that, he creates Pixar. Pixar, for guys who think it's owned by Disney, no, it started as an independent company. Next is what brought Steve Jobs back to Apple when it was struggling. And even during this time of rebuilding, that's when he met his wife. And maybe just to give you context, in the talk, Steve Jobs said that the only thing that kept him going was that he loved what he did. He believed that finding what you love is the key to pushing through these hard times that we all face. If you haven't found it yet, he recommends that you keep looking, that you don't settle, because the work we do fills a larger part of our life, and if you're doing something that you don't like, you're really living a miserable life. So without further ado, let's listen to the clip itself from Steve Jobs, and I'll be back to conclude the episode.
My second story is about love and loss. I was lucky. I found what I loved to do early in life. Woz and I started Apple in my parents' garage when I was 20. We worked hard, and in 10 years, Apple had grown from just the 2 of us in a garage into a $2 billion company with over 4,000 employees. We just released our finest creation, the Macintosh, a year earlier, and I just turned 30. And then I got fired. How can you get fired from a company you started? Well, as Apple grew, we hired someone who I thought was very talented to run the company with me. And for the first year or so, things went well. But then our visions of the future began to diverge, and eventually we had a falling out. When we did, our board of directors sided with him. And so at 30, I was out, and very publicly out. What had been the focus of my entire adult life was gone, and it was devastating. I really didn't know what to do for a few months. I felt that I had let the previous generation of entrepreneurs down, that I had dropped the baton as it was being passed to me. I met with David Packard and Bob Noyce and tried to apologize for screwing up so badly. I was a very public failure, and I even thought about running away from the valley. But something slowly began to dawn on me. I still loved what I did. The turn of events at Apple had not changed that one bit. I'd been rejected, but I was still in love. And so I decided to start over. I didn't see it then, but it turned out that getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again, less sure about everything. It freed me to enter one of the most creative periods of my life. During the next 5 years, I started a company named Next, another company named Pixar, and fell in love with an amazing woman who would become my wife. Pixar went on to create the world's first computer animated feature film, Toy Story, and is now the most successful animation studio in the world. In a remarkable turn of events, Apple bought Next, and I returned to Apple, and the technology we developed at Next is at the heart of Apple's current renaissance. And Lorene and I have a wonderful family together. I'm pretty sure none of this would have happened if I hadn't been fired from Apple. It was awful tasting medicine, but I guess the patient needed it. Sometimes life's going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did. You've got to find what you love. And that is as true for work as it is for your lovers. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking and don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. And like any great relationship, it just gets better and better as the years roll on. So keep looking. Don't settle.
That was Steve Jobs and the talk that I wanted to share today. I know that we all face setbacks, losses, and failures, and sometimes the very things that feel like the worst moments of our lives, like the story tells. I believe and I hope that there will be the start of something great. When we are in that moment, I pray for you and hope that that terrible moment that you will be going through, that you are going through, that setback, that loss, is going to be the seed that is going to plant something greater for you. So keep looking for what you love, keep doing great work, and trust that the dots will continue to connect, that you haven't lost everything, that you will find love in what you are doing and the kind of work that you are involved in. And that's where I want to end this episode. If you found this interesting and it resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Do not forget to tune in next time for more of these episodes. But otherwise, thank you for tuning into this episode. My name is Raymond from the 5 to 9 Job, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.